You are not stuck, you're just disconnected. And that changes everything. If you're tired of surface level advice and want a real, grounded way to get back home to yourself, to reconnect to the most precious, important, raw, real, honest part of you, this is the roadmap you've been waiting for. You are not lost. You are just disconnected from you. And if you're anything like I used to be, high functioning, burnt out, doing everything right, but feeling empty on the inside, this video might be just the beginning of getting back home to yourself. And if you don't know me, hi, my name is Chrisana. I'm a life psychologist and an accredited transformative life coach with an integrative psychotherapeutic approach. And today I'm gonna walk you through the 3 powerful shifts you need to reconnect to who you truly are. Not the version the world told you to be, not the version your family expected of you, but the real, raw part of you that have been waiting for you to connect with it all along. This is also the roadmap I use with my clients and I use with myself, so make sure to make some notes along the way. Also, this is gonna be part 1, so make sure to hit subscribe, like, so you don't miss out, and let's get into that. First of all, I want you to reconnect to what truly matters, not to your neighbors, not to your family, not to your friends, but to you. What truly matters to you, not just surface level. What do I mean connecting back to what truly matters to you? So we hear all the time, make time for yourself, take care of yourself. But what a lot of people mean when they say make time for yourself, they mean just avoiding other responsibilities, just avoiding other parts of themselves. So they use that as a mechanism, as a tool of avoidance. So for example, they use long baths, skincare routines, yoga classes, just for distractions. Don't get me wrong, I love all of those things, but a lot of people use them as distractions from themselves, as distractions to what truly matters. Because here's the truth. If you don't know who you truly are, your history, your needs, your values, what you stand for, what you stand against, someone else will come into your life and will tell you who you are. Someone else will tell you who you are. They gonna decide for you who you are. Let that sink in. This isn't about blaming you. Most of us have never taught how to connect to ourselves on an emotional, spiritual, or psychological level. The thing is, we learn how to perform, please, achieve, produce, and take care of everybody else besides ourselves. So it makes total sense that we confuse physical care for inner connection, for care that goes so much further than just the naked eye, for care that is not just physical. And this is why this matters. When you don't take time to connect deeply to yourself, to get to know yourself beyond your mask, beyond the public persona, beyond who other people told you you needed to be, start living on autopilot. And you shape your life around other people's opinions and ideas. You just follow what other people tell you to do and what other people believe in life, and you follow their ideas, not yours. And then you self-abandon, you overgive, you please others, you start people pleasing, right? The worst part is that you wake up one day and you think to yourself, I don't even know who I am anymore. I don't recognize myself. True self-care, true inner connection to yourself, knowing your values, knowing your history, owning your history, owning your values, owning the core of your identity, starts with getting to know yourself. It starts with asking those questions, and you can also reflect or journal on those questions. What actually matters to you? in life? What actually sparks joy to you? What are your priorities? Not anybody else's in your life. What are your priorities in this season of your life? What are the patterns and stories that shaped you? And what are the patterns and stories you want to be shaped by so you can achieve your fullest potential? So you can connect to the higher version of yourself, so you can connect to the future version. But that's for later. You really need to start with your history. Let me tell you the results of not connecting to yourself. So let me tell you something personal to me. By the way, this was happening around 5 years ago. For a lot of years, I thought I was living life. I was going out with my so-called friends. I was drinking until I felt confident enough to speak to people, to tolerate the night and the environment and everything. I wasn't drinking a lot, but bear in mind, I was drinking in order to tolerate the night and everything regarding the night. I would stay out long. I would laugh too loud. And all of this I did just to feel like I belonged somewhere. Just to feel like I was someone important. Because the truth is, I wasn't important to myself. I didn't know myself. I was numbing. I was using alcohol as a way to tolerate, as I would say at that time, the night. Because the truth is, I didn't like drinking. I didn't like going to the bar. I didn't like even those people. Even though I have nothing against them, we just had nothing in common. And that makes you feel numb. That makes you disassociate from life. I was trying to be seen and heard by them by drinking and gaining that fake confidence from alcohol. This was a way to distract myself from my true self, from connecting to myself truly, because it was too painful to connect back then to myself, because I would need to leave those people behind to make better choices for myself, to get new friends, to go to other environments that I would find those friends, right? This was too painful, losing friends. And that's what happens when you don't know yourself. You make the wrong choices for yourself. You make harmful choices for yourself because you are prolonging your growth. You are prolonging your evolution. You're not allowing yourself to express freely. You feel caged. In fact, you cage yourself. I surely cage myself those years by doing the same thing over and over again just to feel validated by other people, even though I didn't even like those environments and situations, and frankly even those people. And fast forward, now I've been sober 2.5 years, feel more alive than ever before. I feel confident. I feel like I can talk to anyone in any given situation if I want to, because I no longer abandon myself, right? I don't do things to be liked or accepted, because inside of me I already worked within myself to accept myself and to understand myself. I don't need anybody to understand me. I don't need anybody to accept me. Unless they want to, that's fine. But I don't do that to gain validation. Second shift, reconnecting to your inner child. We hear all the time, love yourself, accept yourself, be kind to yourself, be compassionate to yourself. But how can we be kind and loving towards ourselves if we're still abandoning the most innocent, wounded, pure part of yourself, the inner child? Here's the thing. The inner child is not only where your trauma lives. This isn't only where your pain and wounding live. It's also where your dreams, your desires, your aspirations, your aliveness and true essence live. Because here's the thing, if you don't reconnect to your inner child, you'll keep repressing your emotions. You'll keep attracting relationships that mimic the wounded aspect of the relationship you had with your caregivers. And this way reflect the pain of the past. And also you'll keep searching someone to give you love, safety, and validation just because you never received it yourself. So you will keep attracting and searching partners from desperation instead of wholeness. So you'll keep attracting and searching for partners and relationships in general, even like intimate relationships in general, like friends, from desperation, not from wholeness, not from wanting or a desire, from needing that in your life, because you haven't given that to yourself, right? So you're gonna keep searching for that until you give that to yourself. Let me tell you a bit more about the inner child. Each one of us has unmet needs from childhood. This is because no parent is perfect, even if your parents are safely attached. They're gonna make mistakes. This is gonna create wounding and it's gonna leave you with some unmet needs. This is not about blaming your parents because this is a trap. We want to come to the inner child from a place of reparenting, not from a place of victimhood. But what do I mean by that? It's about giving to yourself what you haven't got in childhood. It's about becoming your inner authority. It's about establishing within yourself a wise part that protects your inner child, that meets their needs, that is actually there for them, not abandoning them. So this isn't about a carefree journey, which is also important to connect to the aspect of the child, of your inner child, that is carefree and is pure and it's curious and it's lighthearted and it's alive and has all of those desires and it's playful, childlike, not childish, right? This is why until you become your inner parent, your relationships won't be adult to adult. They're gonna be adult to child, child to child, and you gonna most likely look for someone to rescue you or for someone to fix. Because this past pain, this unmet need, this wounding, this trauma, it's not that it just happened in the past and now it's gone. It's ingrained in your subconscious mind. And this is why a lot of people say, oh, I keep attracting emotionally unavailable people. How do I do that? This is why that happens. Because the inner child part of you still hurt, it's still wounded, and it's gonna keep bringing to the surface the same wound until you heal it. This is why it keeps attracting the same kind of partners, specifically that they have the same wounding as the one you experienced in childhood. Maybe your parents were emotionally unavailable. You had to figure out their emotions. You had to walk on eggshells. You had to become an empath from age 0, basically. So you keep attracting this kind of partners in order to experience the wounding because it's familiar to you, right? So it's gonna keep repeating itself until you heal it. And when you do this work, you stop outsourcing your worth. You stop outsourcing your inner power. You start becoming your own safe space. You start taking your power back. You're essentially taking your power back. Your self-worth changes, your self-worth skyrockets because you are the one meeting your own needs now. You are not waiting for other people to fulfill the needs that your caregivers haven't fulfilled in your childhood. Also, the inner child of you is a part of your subconscious mind where all beliefs, pain, and unmet needs reside. But it's also a gateway to your creativity, to your longing, to your joy, to your curiosity, to your longing, to your aliveness. So make sure to own that part of you too. Imagine living in a house and in the dusty old attic is where your inner child lives. It's scary, it's lonely, and it's full of dreams. When this inner child cries, you start distracting yourself by inviting people, by taking care of all of the other rooms besides the attic, decorating them, cleaning them, and you stay busy downstairs. Maybe you even turn up the music This is exactly what we do when we ignore our inner child. Because this part of you doesn't just disappear. It's gonna keep showing up at every relationship. It's gonna keep showing up as sabotage, as inner conflict, as so much emotional overwhelm until you show up for it. It's gonna keep showing up just to be seen and heard. So the real healing only starts when you go up this attic, kneel down, and say to your inner child, I'm here for you. You matter. You are important to me. And this is only the beginning. You need to keep showing up for your inner child, because if you show up one time, it's like gaslighting them. It's work in progress. You need to keep showing up in order to connect truly to your inner child and reap all of the rewards. And this is the only way that you can also stop repeating the past, stop repeating the pain of the past, and start creating your unique future. Start creating the future you are truly choosing for yourself. This one, it's so important. It freed me so much. It's learning to be present. It's learning to be not in the past, not in the future, but rather in the present moment. What if I told you by constantly repeating the same in your head over and over again, you're actually training your subconscious mind to recreate the same pain over and over again? As one of my favorite psychologists said, Carl Jung, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will dictate your life and you will call it fate or something like that. And this says a lot about our subconscious mind, right? Similarly, our nervous system doesn't know the difference between something that actually is happening in our tangible reality and in something that we are imagining, looping, the past or the future. Our subconscious and nervous system, they cannot recognize the difference between those two states. So what happens when we keep reliving the pain of the past or trying to control and predict the future? We are reliving this experience if it's pain of the past. If it's something painful, like catastrophizing, an experience that we are afraid of having in the future, we are training our brain, our subconscious brain, and our nervous system to experience this pain. When you keep ruminating about the past, you're essentially creating and reinforcing neural pathways of shame, of fear, of powerlessness. And when you fixate on the future, trying to control it, trying to plan it ahead, or again, maybe you're thinking about something bad that might happen in the future that is not based on reality, you are missing the only place that actual change can happen, which is the present moment. So presence, it's not just an idea, it's not just a mental concept. It's the foundation of all healing. It's the foundation of all opportunities. It's the foundation of aliveness. This is not about blaming you. It's how we are wired. Our brain is essentially trying to protect us from any potential, emphasis on the potential, danger. Is trying also to protect us by predicting, preventing, and preparing. This is a big issue because when we are not present, we are not in our inner power. We are losing connection with our power. And when I say power, I don't mean it in any twisted sort of way or controlling other people or anything like that. I mean the power you have to create the life of your dream, the power you have to feel alive, the power you have to create something that you're proud of, the power you have to connect with other people, to connect with you. So if you're not present, you are not connecting, you are not creating and choosing for yourself, because essentially you're clearly somewhere else mentally. You're not there. So if you don't learn to be present, you will unconsciously recreate the same emotions, the same thoughts, and then you're gonna get the same results, because nothing happens if you're gonna keep repeating the same emotions, the same thoughts, and the same patterns. You're gonna get the same results over and over again, the same outcomes. You're also gonna keep living in a state of tension because you're gonna try to control a future that hasn't happened yet. This is how you're missing the present moment. Also, you're gonna miss so many opportunities, so many ideas, so many potential connections, not only with yourself, but with other people too. This is the only way that healing can happen, in the present moment, in the now. You might even convince yourself that you're actually healing, but in reality, you're just looping in your thoughts. You are just mentally in the same place. You're just mentally recreating the same things over and over again in your head. Imagine being in the sea swimming. You are caught in a strong current. You are suddenly crashing, trying to not drown. This way you're trying to reach the past, or you're trying to fix or control the future. But no matter how hard you're trying, you're exhausted. You are not moving forward. You're just drowning in mental noise. And the truth is that presence is exactly like remembering to float, surrendering to the present moment. Suddenly remembering to actually stop fighting, remembering that you have the choice to actually surrender to whatever is happening right now. Lean back, and most importantly, trust the water to hold you. Trust God, trust the universe to just hold you there. Trusting that life is preparing you for whatever is gonna give to you abundantly. Trusting that whatever is yours, it's meant for you. By the way, this is not about not taking action in general. In those situations when you're caught in a strong current and realizing you can actually float, you can actually lean back and be held by the water, be held by life. This is actually when you are allowing yourself to experience the present moment. You are surrendering to the magic of life. You are surrendering to the magic of God, of universe, call it what you want. It's like you suddenly can see the sky above you. You can suddenly see the clouds. You can suddenly see the sun. You can breathe. You can feel it in your body. And this is when you realize you are not lost. You are home. In fact, you always been home. And the only way to get there is by letting go of control, letting go of trying to fix things, letting go of preventing and preparing. You prepare all of your life, and choosing to come back into your body, into the now, into your home. Those were the 3 shifts for reconnecting to yourself. Genuinely, if you just start practicing one of them, you're gonna see immediate results. It gets to be simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. In part 2, I'm gonna walk you through the other 3 shifts you need, including the one that most people resist the most, and why it's the key to emotional freedom. If you want to know more, make sure to check the link in the description below. If you already know that you want to go deeper with me and you need much more support, I have some open spots for my Metamorphosis 6-month psychological coaching container. Is where we take all of those shifts and so much more, and we actually integrate them. We are not just talking about them. It's not mentoring, it's coaching. We are getting you in a place where you know the roots of your wounding. You are learning and resourcing yourself on how to navigate change, create the selves that you were always meant to be. We actually embody that. It's not just awareness. Lastly, you can also book a free consultation call with me. I only do a few of them each month, so make sure to claim yours in the link below. If this resonated, make sure to like, subscribe. Let me know which shift resonated with you the most, which shift you are slowly taking into practice. And I will see you soon in the next one. Bye!